Hi everybody, Sandy here from Sandi Cooks. I'm going to be making some Cornish hens tonight, those cute little birds that are good for just one person with a healthy appetite, or my wife and I will actually split one. So I'm going to make two, one for my wife and I, one for my son. I'm going to do some sweet potatoes in the microwave to go with that, and maybe some steamed broccoli. So I'm going to, for the Cornish hens, those are going to be like roasted chicken, but on a smaller scale. And I'm going to create an herb rub for that, and I'll show you how I do that. Come along with me. All right, Cornish hens. So all I've done so far is taken them out of their little plastic bags. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to dry them off. They come packed in liquid. Oh, here we got a little feather. We don't want that in there, so just pull that out. But we want to dry this off to start with, because otherwise, in order to get a nice crispy skin in the oven, that's all that liquid's got to dry out on the skin first, and much better if we start with it dry. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a peek inside here, and with some ice and a little bit of fat I'm going to get rid of, and there's no thing of giblets on the inside, no hearts, liver, etc. So we don't have to worry about that on these like we do with full-size chicken. So I'm going to dry the next one, and then I'll show you how we do the spice rub. Okay. All right, our rub is very simple. I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of salt. This is about ratios again. I showed you in another, that's my oven telling me that it's preheated. I mentioned this before about ratios in I think my fish tacos video. And what we're going to do here, so we did 4 teaspoons of kosher salt. This is onion powder. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of this. So it's basically 2 to 1 of salt to each of the other ingredients. So we're going to add onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and thyme. And then we're going to add a little bit less black black pepper, because my wife doesn't like it very spicy. Doesn't like anything very spicy. So this is my garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of this. Thyme. 2 of those. Once I get all my spices in this bowl, I'm actually going to, this is going to be 2 teaspoons of paprika. This is sweet paprika, the regular paprika, not the hot paprika. I do have some hot paprika. It's really hot, at least the one I have, my son brought home from a trip he was on last year. Alright, that's our paprika. I'm only going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper, so it's not too spicy. You could also, if you like it spicier, you could add some cayenne pepper to this. You know, half a teaspoon or a quarter of a teaspoon would be great. All right, all that's in here. The other thing I can do is I'm going to add a bunch of olive oil here, and this is going to make it into a paste for us. And actually, I just learned this the other day. Before, what I was doing was I was spraying my bird with like Pam, and then applying the dry rub on the outside, and the Pam would help make it stick. But I saw this the other day and used it on another recipe I was trying out, and it worked great. So that's what I'm going to do. There it is. and we'll just be able to slather that onto the Cornish hens. But we're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes just to let the herbs soak up some of that oil so that it all holds together a little bit better. Kind of doesn't bind, but it kind of binds it together a little bit. Anyway, you'll see. All right, if you don't want to get your hands dirty, you could put some rubber gloves on. I don't worry about it. I'm just going to wash my hands after this. You can, spoon this stuff onto the chicken if you want, but I don't really want it getting all globbed up on the pan, so I'm going to put some on here, and I'm just going to massage it around and figure this out as I go here, because like I said, this is a little bit different from what I've done in the past. Hopefully it will work out well. I know you guys probably don't want me experimenting on you, but since this worked the other day on what I was making, I think it's going to work just fine. Both sides. We want this thing fully spiced, herbed. It's like painting by numbers. And of course, we want the breast of the little chicken to be facing up when we are done here. Don't remember where it was, what video it was where I saw that they, or a recipe that I was reading that it talked about putting it on like this. It actually talked about making the rub and putting olive oil in it, and that's of course what I've just done here. But I don't remember where it was from. Sorry. I am not taking credit for it. Alright, there we go. They're all seasoned up here. Make sure I don't miss anything. Alright, I'm going to wash my hands, and then this is going into the oven. It's going in at 375 for half an hour. Then I'm going to check the internal temperature. It's got to get to 165 to be cooked and be safe. Alright, so those are all dressed, ready to go, and I'm just going to take them and put them in the oven. That's going to be at 375 for half an hour at least. They'll probably need about 10 more minutes after that, maybe 15, but I'm going to check the internal temperature so we'll know for sure. Okay, I'm going to check my chicken again. My Cornish hens. Ooh, they smell good. Check this one this time. Yep, that one's there. That one's there as well. So the only other thing I'm going to do now, real quick, I'm going to put this on broil. I'm going to put the chickens back in for about 2 minutes or so, just to get them a little bit crispier than they currently are. And then once we take those out, we do have to let them rest for 8 to 10 minutes or so that they keep their juices in. You can see, well, actually you can't see, yeah you can. I got the broccoli going. I got my sweet potatoes done that I cooked in the microwave, so that is all we are waiting on now. Okay. That looks better. I actually put it in for 6 minutes. So let me turn this off. And we're just going to now let this rest for about 8-10 minutes, and then we're going to serve it. And I'm going to cut one of them in half for my wife and I. Just taking one of these. Grab the other one here. At it. I'm just going to cut this right down the breastbone there. Just like that. My wife will eat half, I'll eat half. We'll be good to go. So that's probably a little less appealing now that I cut that in half, but there it is. And I hope that you make it and you enjoy it. Have a good night.
If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. To make sure you don't miss a Sandi Cooks video, subscribe to the channel.